Hey everyone, please excuse the video quality. I was thinking about how you guys might be able to help out your child at home, and I figured I would show you some of the strategies that we're working on. As you know, multiplication and division can be very complicated concepts for students, and that is true also in our classroom. So I thought that there might be times that you may want to work with your child and they're showing you some crazy method that you've never seen before. So I was just going to roll through and show you the different strategies that they've learned and what they are called so that you can help assist your child at home if you have a chance. So the first one is standard algorithm. This is probably what you were shown because I know it was definitely how I was taught. And I'm just going to go through that step by step, and then I will go and make a separate video showing you this same problem solved with area model, also known as magic box, or the lattice method. So to start with the standard algorithm, you would simply go through and you would multiply each one of the digits on the top by a number that's on the bottom. So we need to make sure that this number actually has some sort of interaction with each one of these numbers first. Then this number needs to do the same thing. So as we go through, we will have to add a spacer to move over so that we can account for the fact that this is actually 40 and not 4. But I'll show you that whenever we get there. Now, a lot of our students struggle with sevens, so I always recommend that they go and they skip count on the side. So if they can skip count it, that's great. If not, then they can just go skip count as much as they know. Like say they knew how to get to 28, and then they needed to go through and get to the next number. Well, then they can just do repeated addition. What is 28 plus 7? They would solve, write the next one down. Sorry, I'm trying to do this through my camera, so it's not very neat. Again, they would do a repeated addition. They would solve, and they would just keep doing that until they had the numbers all the way through until this number is multiplied by 10, so they've done all the different factors. I tell them that they want to do their work once. So instead of sitting here trying to figure out what 7 times 2 is, and trying to figure out what 7 times 3 is each time, they just do that work once, and then they can just count it out. For the ease of this, I'm just going to erase that so you can see that I would just have them go and skip count out their numbers. And they're doing sevens because that is the first digit that we're going to interact with. So if they knew 2 times 7 was 14, they could just go ahead and write that out without looking over at the numbers that they've built. With the number being 14, I would place the 1's value right here, and I would place the 10's up here to be added on later. Many of our students will then go and add these numbers together and then multiply, which is incorrect. It's a misconception that they have. So just make sure when you're talking to them that they know that they are going to multiply these two numbers. These are the main numbers that need to interact. Then we are simply just going to add this number to whatever result we get. So at this point, maybe the 3's are a little bit more difficult, 7 times 3. So they would just go over to what they've already done and they would count 1, 2, 3, and they would know that answer is 21. So they would go to put 21 here, but they still have to add in this 1. So 21 plus 1 is 22. Again, my 1's place value is going to go here, and my 2 is going to go up there to stand for the 20 and 22. Now I am going to again go 2 times 7, which I knew was 14. 14 plus 2 is 16. Carry my 1 for that 10's place value. Now it's 4 times 7. I'm going to use this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And get 28. 28 plus 1 is 29. Okay? This step is typically where our students can get to with standard algorithm, and then they get confused because we are now using 2 digits in this bottom. So what I tell them to remember to move over, you could put a 0 here. That's what I learned when I was in school. Some of our friends like to just make a box that shows that it's all been blocked out. If they do that, I also have them X this out to make sure they don't interact with that 7 anymore, because the 7 has already done its job. Okay? I also, for many of our students, tell them to go ahead and mark these out so they don't get confused later on. Now, my 7s will not work anymore. I now need 4s. So again, whichever method they need to skip count by 4, have them go do that. Of course, if they have memorized their multiplication tables, this is significantly easier for them. But we already know that that is very difficult to get to a point where they feel confident. So I just tell them, go ahead and write it out. Do the work once. So it's right there for them. Again, I went to 40 because 4 times 10 is 40. Now I'm going to go and do this work. I am going to make sure each number on the top interacts with this number. So I have to start over here. 2 times 4. I look over here, it's 8. I don't need to carry anything over because I had a single digit and I had no value in the tens place. Now I would look at 3 times 4. 1, 2, 3 is 12. Put a 2 here. Carry my 1. 2 times 4 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. 4 times 4 is, and I would let them do this, 16. And I am now done because every one of these numbers has already interacted with this 4. Now all I have to do is add. So whenever I add these numbers together, I'll get my final answer of, see, this is 4. This equals 10. I carry my 1. 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 2 is 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 6 is 9. Carry. I also recommend that the students don't add commas right now. We will be dealing with decimals soon. So sometimes our friends can get a little confused. If there's a comma here, they think it's a decimal. So we're just going to leave those out right now, knowing that if I were to read this answer, it wouldn't be 198,904. But I'm going to leave out the comma when it's still in my problem. This is standard algorithm, and I will come back with a video showing our other methods. Thanks.